I don't think we can argue that Kirill Kaprizov is absolutely still warranting discussion. Just on the off chance that some of you are big enough sickos that you only get your Minnesota Wild news from us, I'll recap real quick what everyone's been talking about for the last 3 weeks. Kirill Kaprizov turned down a historic contract offer, 8 years, $16 million AAV. And since that time, all hell's broken loose. Debate on, do we trade him? Does he want a shorter term? Does he want more money? Does he just not want to be here? How did this get leaked? Was it the Wild or was it Kaprizov's camp? We've got an answer that I'm pretty confident in at this point. Where could he go if he was to be traded? There's just so many things to get into here, but I think the most important one, Z, had he signed that contract, how would you have felt about it?
I would be like, holy shit, is that a 16? But all right, whatever. He's locked down. Don't care. Move on.
That's pretty much it, right? Now,
we are in the exact opposite now.
If you had zero investment in the Wild, how would you feel about that contract for that player?
I mean, it's obviously basically impossible to completely look at it like that, all the way. But I feel like anyone looks at the number 16 is going to be like, fuck that, especially outside of Minnesota. So specifically in terms of the situation, that's the part that's the most confusing to me, where it's just first of all, if you're Minnesota, I think before we've been yeah, whatever you want. He's going to get whatever he wants. You could take every penny if you want, but obviously that's going to affect the team you got around. If you really want every single penny, then okay. 16 is, it's the most lucrative contract would be in the history of the NHL. And when you look at, I think it's still another year, or I think it's another year that the teams are going to be able to even sign him for fewer years. So if he's wanting more money, which this is why it does not feel like that at all. The fucking amount of money other teams would have to pony up would be insane. Just with that extra year, and that adds to it too. And it's just all right, do you want a shorter term, or are you waiting? Is it a situation where you just actually want to see what kind of team the Wild are going to have as you're hitting your prime years in the middle of this contract, or well, I mean, he's there, but in the prime period right now, because he obviously wants to win, and there's so many questions up in the air where I'm without, just because I was okay, of course now we have to panic all summer. I've been whatever, it'll be fine, and now it's clearly not completely fine.
No,
but it's just, it is crazy to me that anyone turned it down, and it's dude does not want to fucking be here. I mean, that feels wrong too. That feels wrong too,
dude. I'm not panicking. Now, if we get to game 1 of the regular season and there hasn't been proven progress, that's when I'll panic. But let's break this down, right? A year ago, what did Craig Leopold say?
Yeah.
No one will outbid us. There is no way that I won't pay him whatever he wants.
We were why, bro, fair to think that. Why'd you say it?
People are upset that he would turn that down, which, first off, it wasn't supposed to be public. He's very clearly not happy that it got public. Makes it even funnier that his camp is the side that leaked it, which makes you wonder if there's going to be some kind of power struggle. Does he even contemplate a new agent? We saw from Russo and Joe that Theophanis showed up unexpectedly to talk to the assistant GM at training camp. That doesn't feel like something he's doing by choice. That feels like Kaprizov's you better figure this shit out, dude. He did not want that getting out. But on the flip side, if I'm his agent and that is what the owner said, I'm saying no to the first offer no matter what. Granted, I don't think anyone expected it to be an 8x16. Still, why would you say yes to the first thing offered when they couldn't be more clear that they will pay you whatever you want? And let's be real, they don't have much choice but to do so, because it's a weird stalemate where both sides are fucked without each other. Kaprizov needs to sign this deal. If he gets hurt, bye-bye gravy train. Wild need him to sign, because if he leaves, that ruins everything that Guerin has tried to build with the culture, with just the team construct. But it just furthers the point that people don't want to be here, right? And I don't think that's the case. I don't think he wants to leave. And the other option is, as Friedman said right when this happened, he's like, there we go. Mateo commented here. Friedman saying someone is putting out smoke signals for 19 million. I believe it. And that's why he's pushing for more. And I think we've just reached the point where the Wild need to just sit and let him get uncomfortable. Period. Mm-hmm. They need to be clear, like, hey, dude, we need to have something done in October, or I guess we're going to have to get a list from you. But let us know what you're interested in, because we're not going to bid against ourselves.
Right. Yeah, and like, I think that was part of it too. It's like crazy timing for this to get leaked, and for just like for everyone to know that you're saying no to this, because like you just missed literally 50% of an NHL regular season this past year. Like 41 of 82 games you missed. You're 28. Like you just got offered the most lucrative contract in the history of the NHL. Like it is crazy timing to have that leak that you said no, especially if it really was his camp. Which I don't know who fucking else it would be.
If Russo says he has it under good authority that it wasn't the Wild that leaked it, that tells you who leaked it. Right. Now, which individual? I don't know, but either way, it sure as shit wasn't Kaprizov. So,
and here's the thing too. Like, I think greatest all with anything I say with what's going on in my brain right now. But I think it was Russo. I was listening to you talk about this. Like, there have been an increasing amount of people who are just like, yo, there is actually the tampering is getting out of control. Yeah. Where it's like, could you also see a situation where this fucking agent is just like going behind the Wild's back to other teams and just getting some shit out there? It's crazy to me that's a possibility, but I am pretty sure I think it was Russo talking about potential tampering thing that was going on too.
But I actually lean another direction. I don't think the agent's tampering. I think teams are reaching out to him to be like, yo, just be aware that it's always funny. I think it's Jeff Merrick who always plays this joke. He's like, yes, if you have any 6'2" right-handed Swedish defenseman drafted in 2014, I'd be looking for something like that next summer. I don't know if you have any of those, but just letting you know the type of thing I'd be looking for, like, is a team or multiple teams floating out to Theophanis, or of course, I'm sure they have their back channels, right? Like, hey, you tell them to go tell Theophanis this would be on the table. So I'm not going to say Theophanis isn't enough of a rat to go do it. I'm just saying it's far more likely that there are teams that are like, we really want to make sure you know what you might be passing up. So, But it's also very funny because there's like probably 2 or 3 teams in that boat. Every other team is sitting here like, Bill Guerin, you do not offer him another fucking dime, you piece of shit. Do not set the market this way for us. And how do you rationalize that? If you're another team, you have to be able to explain to your players, like, it's Minnesota. They have to keep him. They have the overpay tax. Like, it is what it is. Minnesota cannot afford to lose him. I'm convinced that if Kaprizov walked in and said, give me 8x19 or trade me, they'd probably give him the 8x19, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. No one's going to be happy about that contract, but the absolute worst case scenario is him leaving. I don't think you can argue that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think what you said earlier is correct, where it's like you have to make him get uncomfortable now. And it's like, especially because he was clearly not happy that it got out. And it's like, all right, bro, well, it's fucking out now. So like, it is what it is, bro. Either we need to know if you are leaning towards not staying him, and it's like we have to like yesterday. With like ideally sooner than yesterday. I don't know. I still don't know how I actually like feel about it as far as like my confidence level that the deal gets done, because like it just makes none of it makes sense outside of him just being like, fuck this, which that just feels wrong. So I don't know. Like I didn't think it would actually. I knew there was a chance that we would go into the start of the year like not having like a contract signed yet. I didn't think like it would get leaked, the actual like details, like the years, the term, or the term and the dollars, and like potentially the biggest contract. He should was to Capero, and he said no. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is a disaster. But at the same time, it still doesn't feel like it just doesn't make any sense. I guess is where I don't ultimately landed. I'm just like either I'm like trying to simplify where it's like, all right, if he doesn't want to be here, then okay, we have to start like looking at it now. Because like let's say like I think Joe Smith was posting the videos of them like in training camp the other day. They're doing like day one of training camp after this got leaked. Fucking they were doing that drill along the boards. And Bogosian was just like feeding him cross checks in the back, and you're like, no. Also, fuck you, but like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's like if he cracks the rim, I'm doing like if Zach Bogosian were to crack his rim with a cross check, I would lose my fucking mind.
Unrelated, funny side tangent,
like
quick.
That's just where you're at.
How funny is it that Foligno just absolutely punished Stevie Lescovar day one? Like basically like, oh, everyone thinks you're tough. Come here, little 17-year-old. Just punishes him. But that's all right. So Kaprizov, it just sucks that it's at a point where no matter what, I'm not going to be thrilled. And him getting signed, no matter what the number, is a win. So I'll be happy. But it's like now we're in the range of numbers. Everyone's like, oh, there's no way it'll be higher than 13 or 14. Like, come on now, wake up. I want your opinion, though, because I got some agreement and some pushback when I said this initially. I did not take the breaking news seriously when it came from Sarah Valley. I basically said this could absolutely be true. It could also be a bunch of bullshit, because I feel like he's the guy, like he's very connected and he knows what he's talking about. I feel like he is like shoot first, ask later. Like he needs to be first to a story. Like he would hear something that gives you inklings of this and he'll get to the conclusion and make sure that he's the first to say it and then come back and it's like, well, I was kind of right.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Has he had that many like big misses?
I'm not saying big misses. I'm saying doesn't have all the facts. You know what I mean? Like whenever he posted it, I'm like, okay, something is going on. I just wasn't ready to take the full story at face value of he turned down an 8x16. I'm like, all right, something happened with Kaprizov. I'm going to wait until Joe and Russo say something to really believe what exactly happened. And in this case, it ended up being correct to a T.
Yeah. I was surprised. I mean, like specifically on such a big wild scoop. Like the biggest one possible for the Minnesota Wild, you would have figured it would have been coming from Russo. So I mean, like, yeah, I guess when I saw it, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. At the same time, like,
I mean,
I was pretty confident it was at least around like in the ballpark of it being pretty accurate, because I mean he literally is talking to these agents and the play, like he is like that deep in all this shit. So
yeah,
I was just like hoping it would be like, I was like, he doesn't miss huge very often, if ever. This sucks, so it's not good either way.
It does further the point though that it was Kaprizov's camp that leaked it, because if you're Kaprizov's camp, why would you go to Russo, who's going to do his due diligence? He's going to make sure that like it's cool with the Wild. Like Kaprizov's camp wanted this to be a big story to stir shit up. If it was the Minnesota Wild that leaked it, they would have gone to Russo, not to Frank Saravelli.
Yeah. Either way, it's just weird either way to like
very
want like, especially the number. That's this part where it's just like, you really want to leak that, dude? Like, I don't know. Also, I like exactly how the leaking goes always fascinates me. It's like, is he just fucking texting this motherfucker? Yo, 8x16, no thanks. And he's just like going with that. Like, what are these texts like, dude? Like, or phone calls.
That is actually a very funny thing to think about.
I would never want to be. I'd like the whole getting a scoop thing. I would never want that job. I don't think.
So we're agreed then that the Wild need to just like kind of make him sweat a little bit. Yeah. Do you have a cutting off point, or would you go to the full 20% if that's what Kaprizov came back and said he wanted?
Oh God. Like, I mean, it is funny because, like, again, a month, 2 months ago, like, we were both like, hey, whatever. I mean, at this point now, especially that Leopold said blank check, pretty much, or word for word, I guess. Like, it is what it is. They need to sign up. He's the best player in franchise history. He's the most important at the most important time too, like for the franchise specifically. Same time, so like, if you were to play, hey, it's gonna be 6, I'd be like, oof, all right, well, fuck it. Even now that's actually, we know for a fact to offer, I'm like, fuck, that's high. And like, then he said no, you're like, oh God. Like, wow, why is this fucking thing gonna go? If he ends up signing an 8-year deal in Minnesota, I actually still think it's gonna be pretty close to 16. Like, I don't know why that just feels, it's just like the number. I think maybe it's just me never having seen that. The number 16 with like someone's contract before, the salary cap era. But like, I gotta tell you, actually going to the 20% is brutal.
It's happened twice in NHL history. Do you know who?
No.
One of them, you'll be like, oh my God, yep, but you'd never guess it. One of them is pretty guessable, reasonably. One of them dipped out to the KHL for like 3 or 4 years in their prime.
It was Kovalchuk?
Still playing professional hockey at the age of like 48.
Oh yeah, I figured Judd'z was the other, because he's been, I remember looking at his career earnings, I was like, holy fuck.
So Jágr's one of them. The other one, do you remember who might be the most regrettable contract that the New York Rangers have done for a free agent?
Oh, fucking yeah. God damn it. Oh, this is pissed me off now. Well, you know what? We're gonna sit here forever.
You tap whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm tapping. My brain's mashed potatoes.
Bradley Richards.
Yeah, Brad Richards. Yeah. Damn it.
Kaprizov could be the third.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, dude, that much the cap is fucking crazy.
It is. Now, the number I've got in my head, 18.75, because it makes just a clean, even 150 mil.
Yeah, there you go. Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
That'd be insane.
I know. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's again, even just thinking about being the agent, like letting that leak is fucking crazy to me. Like right before camp starts, it's the most lucrative contract in NHL history in this market. By the way, after you took 6 fucking years to go, like the whole history of it is insane.
This will have like a full like documentary done when it's all said and done.
It feels like a real Minnesota 30 for 30 type situation.
I want to see, like, when this is all said and done, I want to go back and see the footage fly on the wall of that meeting, because I just imagine that they walk in and Theophanis like, all right, Kirill, remember what we said, right? No matter what he comes in and says, he's gonna pay more. Like, you heard what he said. They sit down and they're like, all right, $128 million. And Theophanis is like, pass. And Kaprizov's like, pass?
It's like in the office.
He's like,
Michael
we had a
Scott Paper
plan.
Company.
We had a plan.
The Michael Scott Paper Company going toe to toe with Dunder Mifflin. He's like, well, what's the offer? That's the thing. Like, how many? Like, I'd have to look at just like as far as like other teams in the league. How many of these like good teams have that much space in the next couple of years? I mean, you're moving players, obviously, if you're gonna be comfortable with throwing that much money at Kirill Kaprizov, but it is like this is where it gets crazy to me too, trying to like factor in that cap number or that number to other teams' cap. But again, part of that would be obviously trades going the other way too. But I don't know. It is just insane. I think it's for me, it's just the fact that I've never seen a fucking contract start with the 16 that I'm like, I can't, like that feels impossible. But I guess it's what it's gonna be. So I don't know. I'm just praying it ends up with him staying in Minnesota. And that's realistically, that's all I really got for that.
I'm 60-40. I'm 60-40. He stays. But if we get to game 1 for the Wild, no contract, that flips to like 30-70.
Yeah.
Like it's a very defined clock that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, what did he say in his first availability with the media? He was like, the one thing he said though was like, yeah, we got a long time. And I was like, no, the fuck we don't, brother.
He's like, oh, we have a whole year. It's like, you son of a bitch. I will be at Philly Sushi every Wednesday night, posted up waiting for that motherfucker to come in.
Like, no, don't say that. I don't know. It feels crazy, but this is just where we're at with this kid.
All right, so let's pivot then, and I'm gonna be honest, I had like actually put some thought into this and done prep, but again, it's been 3 weeks in the making, so I don't have great notes offhand. Realistic trade destinations for Kirill Kaprizov, like a lot of, like, you look at the betting odds, which Russo, that sick puppy, shared the betting odds just randomly. That weirdly, I gotta say, gave me more confidence that Kirill will stay. I feel like if Kaprizov was leaving, Russo would not post that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if he's gonna like take jabs at the fans and like stir shit up, I almost feel like that means that things are trending in a good way. I don't know, but I was shocked by the top 2 teams, Carolina and Detroit. In what fucking world?
I always say open the fucking outline for the first time right before we started, and this is my nightmare thing to there's no answer. I have no idea. Like, Carolina makes sense as far as going out and finding like an actual number 1 superstar player, I guess.
Getting money and winning.
Money. I mean, I don't know. And then Detroit makes no sense to me.
There is no way you can talk me into Detroit. Plus, well, actually, we'll get into this later. But see, I feel like if he's leaving, it's to go to a destination. Now, here's a dream scenario that honestly won't happen because I'm pretty sure the player has full or heavy trade protection. If you can have Kirill Kaprizov for 16 million or more AAV, or for, I believe it's roughly 9 million, you could have Jake Gensel. Which would you rather have? I'll take Jake Gensel.
This is my least favorite thing.
I'll say it then. You can disagree with me to make yourself feel better. Like, for the money, Jake Gensel, now that the cap has jumped, is on a steal of a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a kind of Minnesota boy, even though he was born in Nebraska. He's mostly a Minnesota boy. But Tampa is one of the places that a Russian would absolutely want to go. Can you imagine him? And I would be okay with it just to let him and Kucherov play together because the world needs to see that.
That would be terrifying.
And plus, the two guys that were the late round steals that should have both ended up at the Wild can just play together in Tampa with him in point. But if we're going to be over stereotypical, we're talking the California teams, which none of those really look interesting. So that's a pass. Maybe LA, but that's still a little weird. You've got Chicago, you've got the New York Rangers, and you've got the two Florida teams. Can you name another team just purely destination based that would be appealing to Kaprizov? Like take roster and everything out. I'm saying literally just destination for living.
Yeah,
New York Rangers, Florida teams, LA, Chicago. Maybe Vegas.
Yeah, I was gonna say Montreal, Vegas.
Montreal is actually very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it also pairs with the whole like, hey, Sidney Crosby potentially a Montreal Canadian guy. They're ready to make that. They're finally ready to actually do it. They're done. They have like too many prospects, all that shit,
dude. And that's. I think Montreal for Crosby makes all the sense in the world. People are still banging the drum saying that like Colorado is the most likely landing place. And I need someone to explain to me, like I'm 5, what the Colorado Avalanche can give up to get Crosby.
They don't.
They literally gave up everything for Brock Nelson. And they didn't have much.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're going to trade Cale Makar for Sidney Crosby, which would be insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
so this is where I always end up landing with the Kaprizov thing, though. There's just like not that many that make any sense realistically. I also, just to torture myself, I just Googled just to piss myself off. I had successfully avoided doing this until just now. Kirill Kaprizov trade possibilities. Bleacher Report was the first one that comes up, and I gotta tell you, first potential trade sent me. You were talking about destinations, and I blacked out. The anger was okay. So one of the Chicago Blackhawks. This was the trade offer out there. Teuvo Teravainen and Oliver Moore, and either a first or second round pick.
Now, can I
shit.
Hang on though? Let's jump in the time machine real quick. Do you remember how many holes got punched in walls when the Blackhawks stole Oliver Moore from the Minnesota Wild? Judd Brackett failed this organization by not drafting a player that was not available at their draft slot.
Yep. Yeah. It was accurate. It's time to.
I think if he ends up in Chicago, it's not via trade.
Yeah, exactly. And realistically, again, for Chicago, the only reason it would ever make sense first, I mean, it's Chicago. They just can't stake anymore. Bedard's there. You need to supercharge that fucking organization right now. There's a lot of young prospects that are going to be fucking awesome, and obviously Kaprizov immediately jumps you up a level.
Yeah.
And fast forwards that like insanely brutal rebuild that is now just starting to like give you the just returns, but
still bad.
I don't know, still crazy.
Yeah.
I like again. So where I land is like I have no idea what a trade could look like. Who could be to makes no sense.
They would never do it. But let's just say in a vacuum, you know that the Blackhawks are going to be a bottom 3 team this year. Do you trade him for their 1? Do you trade Kaprizov for their first overall pick in hopes that it's McKenna?
I mean, at that point, I like what? I guess. If you could get I don't know. This sucks. I hate this. This is the worst. It's all bad. It is just all bad.